Alright guys, so I'm going to be doing a fanfiction idea that you guys voted for over on Patreon, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, this was another holiday fanfiction. Probably the last one I'm going to do for the year. Funny how they've all, the holiday fanfictions have been Marvel versions. They've all been Marvel stories, or non-crossover stories. And this one, rather than do like a heartwarming story, like with the kind of like with the Punisher, that was kind of like the Christmas Carol, and also, you know, the Thor, Wolverine, Spider-Man team up where they battled the Yule Cat in a fun adventure. This is going to be a straight up holiday horror story. And and I can think of no better time to post this than during, the winter solstice, the night of Yule, and that is Wolverine, Krampusnacht. So this is Wolverine versus Krampus, not Universal, not the Legendary Studios Krampus. This is a mythical Krampus we're dealing with here. So yeah. So as always, if you guys would like to be part of the polls, this was like I said, voted on over on Patreon. So if you guys want to be part of the Patreon videos, and the polls especially, if you guys want to check those out, just hit the link below. Head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can hit the first tier, and that'll allow you access to polls as well as my reviews for Monarch Legacy of Monsters and the reviews for whatever theatrical movies I go see. Anyway, let's get started with the video. So the story begins ages ago, and young Logan, not even when he was called Logan, young James Howlett's life. Remember, that's Wolverine's real name, is James Howlett. So back when he was just a young boy, James had a friend named Samuel. And Samuel was kind of a dick. His entire family were dicks. And here, basically in this story, Samuel's family were people who fled to Canada after they were gentry that really, rubbed shoulders with the Confederacy. But after the fall of the Confederacy, they got the fuck out of there, and because they were just like, we're assholes. We funded money for the Confederacy. It lost, so we're gonna take what money we have left and go to Canada. And that's where they, Samuel befriended kind of Jimmy, but Jimmy was but Samuel was an asshole, real asshole. And essentially, one night during Christmas, a blizzard blew in the Howlett estate, and the next day, when James's father went to go see what happened to Samuel's family, they were all gone. Their home had been frozen over. Both of his parents were found frozen to the wall, and little Samuel was taken. Judging by the clothes, he was taken up the chimney. So that always. But however, what James never said was that he thought he saw something flying through the air, and in the howls of the wind of that blizzard, he thought he heard Samuel screaming, "Help me!" Now we cut back to the present day, and now Wolverine is where else? He's in Canada. He's just kind of like, I'm here. I wanted to have some me time for Christmas, and he just kind of wanted to go back to Canada, and just kind of that was the Christmas present he asked. There was a secret. He left Krakoa and wanted to be I love the I love the Krakoan dream and all that, but I need some Logan needs some Logan time. So he's out in the Canadian wilderness, but when he comes back down to a little Canadian town, he hears about some kids who vanished from this. This family says hey, have you seen our son? Have you seen any whereabouts? He's like, no, I haven't. And they're like, we don't know where he is. And then they hear from someone else good, that kid was an asshole. And that kind of just triggers a memory within Logan of remembering Samuel. And he's like, what happened to your kid? He's like, our kid was, our little Jonathan wasn't a good boy, but we still loved him. We were trying to teach him right from wrong. And he's like, what happened? And he was like, well, there was this blizzard that came in, and something, someone took him. And he's like, all right. Now now he's like, now it's it's all happening again. So Wolverine is like, someone took Samuel, someone took this kid. I need to figure out more. So Wolverine goes to the house. He basically says like, I'm let me help. I'm a tracker. He doesn't say he's a mutant or anything. He just says, I'm a good tracker. So he goes around. He like goes around the room and like smells stuff in the house, in the boy's room, and he's like, scent strong. You like, but like there's a scent here and it's wrong. It's like, it's something, something dark, something like malevolent was here, and it just made me. And for the like, Wolverine says, I don't get spooked much, but this is one of those times where I get spooked. So Wolverine proceeds to like follow a trail, but the trail goes cold, and now he doesn't. Now he's starting to wonder: is this an actual thing? Like, is this a real thing? Is this a real thing or not? Maybe it's some weirdo, or maybe even a mutant, or maybe it's even a deviant or a celestial or something. And he's getting, it's making him a little antsy. It's making him feel weird. Because he's out of his element. And he goes, I hate to admit it, but I think this might be a magic situation. So Wolverine contacts Doctor Strange. And Doctor Strange is like, Logan, this is a surprise. Why do you call me? Like, why have you called me? And he goes, listen, Doc, there's been some kids going missing, and I got this weird scent, and like, what can you tell me about? And I know this is going to sound weird, but what can you tell me about Krampus? And Doctor Strange is like, Logan, there isn't really much I can say about Krampus. That's like saying Santa Claus is real. And he's like, he is real though. We know Santa Claus is real. And they're like, fair point. But like, there's been no evidence of it. Now it could be. And now I'm not saying what you think you saw was Krampus. It could be like a shapeshifter or a mutant or an alien. He's like, yeah, but this doesn't feel like that. And he goes, well, there's always been, like, in history, creatures that take children. Throughout, history, there's always been shapeshifters and demons that take those forms, and we call them by names. It's maybe not that, but you never know, And he's like, you think you can come up here and help me? This ain't really my strong suit. And he goes, unfortunately, I'm kind of tied up with something else. And if this was a comic, it would cut over to Doctor Strange about to do battle with Dormammu or like Nightmare or something. And he's like, I just hope, whatever this is, Logan, be careful. And he's like, yep. So Logan basically goes into further north. Like, the best he can do is just travel further north, but he can't find anything. And that's when he's like, if I'm a hunter, I need bait. I need better bait. So he goes back, and he actually goes to Quebec and finds, like, somewhere where he can find, like, just some real nasty kids. And he tracks them for a bit. He follows them around, just kind of shadows them, until one night when a blizzard comes rolling in, and that he's just waiting there, and down comes Krampus. And like I said, this isn't like the movie Krampus version of him. This is like goat tail, big, hulking, like goat demon monster, but not looking like Santa or Dark Toys. And he's like got his chains ready. He's ready to like take the kid. And Wolverine shows up out of the blizzard. And he's like, "Hey, remember me?" So Wolverine and Krampus do battle. They start like slashing at each other. They just start. Krampus like hisses and snarls at him, and Wolverine and him are like fighting from rooftop to rooftop, and even like Logan's like, Jesus, this guy is tough. Like, my claws are like having trouble penetrating, but I know I'm hurting him. Eventually, though, Wolverine does get overpowered by Krampus, but rather than try to kill him, Krampus just kind of like stomps on his back to keep him like down on the ground, like just paralyzed, and then he goes and grabs the kid and Krampus leaves. And Wolverine, like he's fighting with his healing factor to chase after the kid, can't get to him, and it's like it's like watching Samuel get dragged away again, because all he hears is the kid screaming in the wind, and he can't do anything about it. So that's when he realized he just can't catch them. Like even Logan says, Logan spends like 2 weeks trying to follow the scent of whatever that was, and he can't do it. So he has to like give up, and he realizes that thing's still out there, and it's if this was a comic, and he's like, if it was like a comic, it'd be like, so be good for goodness sake, because I can't save you. Yeah. So there you go, guys. That is Wolverine Krampusnacht. It was originally called Claws of the Krampus, but then I was like, Krampusnacht sounds cooler. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of it? And once again, I'd like to thank everyone for sending me, being a part of the poll. And yeah, this is a fun one to do. Like I said, cool, nice holiday horror story. But yeah, other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.